Hello, my Form 2 students. I hope you are all doing well. We are back to our virtual learning. And the last time we met, we started the topic, our Constitution. And we are back to lesson 2 of the topic, our Constitution. Now, what are we learning today? By the close of today's lesson, we should be able to know or learn the ways of protecting the Constitution of Ghana. Also, know the consequences that may occur if the Constitution of Ghana breaks down. And also, know the duties of the arms of government. We have the executive arm of government, the judiciary, and the executive. What are their main functions or duties? So that is our purpose for today. Let's move. Now, the first thing we are going to look at is the ways of protecting the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. As citizens of Ghana, what are the things we are supposed to do? We all owe Mother Ghana a duty to protect the Constitution. Note that if there is no Constitution, there is nothing like Ghana. We are going to go back to what is called military rule. So, what are the ways? Since we know that the Constitution is the fundamental law of the land, what are some of the things we are supposed to do to protect this Constitution? One is that there should be free, fair, and frequent elections. The Electoral Commission, the Constitution of Ghana says that there should be free, fair, and frequent election. If the person wins, the person has won. There shouldn't be any cheating anywhere. So it says that to maintain the Constitution, there should be free, fair, and frequent election. The Constitution says that every 4 years there must be election. Another way of protecting the Constitution is that there must be a total independence of the judiciary. There must be total independence. The executive, the legislature must not influence the judiciary in any way or any form. Because if the judiciary is totally broken down, we are all dead. If there's no law, no human rights, how are you going to protect yourself? So, one way of protecting the Constitution is that there must be a total independence of the judiciary. Why? Because the judiciary is the arm of government that interprets the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. The third one is that it says political parties must educate their members to do what is right as they take part in political activities. The major political parties, all the political parties in Ghana, must educate their members on what to do, the right thing to do when taking part in political activities. Politics of vindictiveness, politics of hatred, politics of insult and all that must cease. Because if we do that, we are going to bring conflict into this country, which will have effect on all of us. So political parties must educate their members on what to do when taking part in political activities. The next one is that the media, you talk with the media, the press, the electronic, all the media in Ghana, and the NCC, that's the National Commission on Civic Education, National Commission on Civic Education, should educate citizens on the need to protect the Constitution of Ghana. The media and the National Commission, the NCC, must educate Ghanaians that without the Constitution, your freedom will be curtailed. Without Constitution, you have no right, no place to go and express your grievances. Grievances. So it is important that we all learn to protect the Constitution. Now, guarantee of fundamental human rights. One way or one reason as a citizen of Ghana, you must protect the Constitution is that it guarantees your fundamental human rights. All your rights and freedoms are all spelled out or defined in the Constitution. You and I, our rights as citizens are all defined in the Constitution. Apart from that, no other law is bigger than the Constitution. That will say that the Constitution is the fundamental law of the land. So all your rights, your freedoms, or duties are all spelled or defined in the Constitution. That is why it is a duty of you as a citizen to what? Protect the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. We move on to, it says the consequences that may occur if constitutional rule breaks down. Consequences that may occur if constitutional rule breaks down. Let me define constitutional rule. Let me define constitutional rule. If you talk of a constitutional rule, it is when the government of the day perform its duties or functions based on what the Constitution says. Okay? It is when the government of the day perform his or her duties based on what the Constitution defines. All that the government of the day is supposed to do is defined in the Constitution of Ghana. That's what we say about a constitutional rule. A constitutional rule means that the government of the day must define what the Constitution says. It cannot do anything outside the Constitution. That's what constitutional rules means. So now, what you're trying to say is, if today there is no constitution in Ghana, what will happen? Imagine, even in the animal kingdom, there are rules and regulations. So let's imagine that in Ghana today, as I'm speaking today, there is no constitution. What will happen? These are some of the things that will happen. One, it will lead to chaos or confusion. There will be confusion all over. No one will obey traffic. No one will obey traffic. Because if I disobey traffic, who hold me responsible? Okay? Now, the second one, it will lead to what? Violation of human rights and freedoms. If there's no constitution today, your right as a citizen will be violated. Anybody at all can abuse you and go free. Because you can't send the person to court. Because the court is defined as an arm of government by the Constitution. But since there's no constitution, there is no judiciary. So anybody at all can violate your rights and their freedoms. Now, it will also retard or slow social progress and development. If there's no constitution, there will not be development. Which government is going to construct road, hospital, or schools in your area? Because there is no government of the day. Another one is that it will lead to the destruction of our lives and properties. As I'm saying, when people come to abuse your rights. So since what happens is that we live in what is called animal kingdom. There will be what is called animal kingdom. If I only know that, Teacher Paul, I can abuse you and take your property, I'll just come and abuse you and take your property because at the moment there's no what? Law. Have you seen? There's no law. So it will lead to destruction of what? Lives and properties. I can just go, anybody, any rich man house, just visit there, abuse the person, kill the person, and take his money and run away because there's no law. So let's take these things seriously. I'll go over. It says that if today there's no constitution, what will happen in Ghana? One, it will lead to what? Chaos or confusion. It will lead to what? Violation of human rights and freedoms. It will also retire what? Or slow social progress and development. And the last one says it will lead to what? Destruction of what? Lives and properties. That is what will happen in Ghana today if there was no anything like what? Constitution. Now let's move to the arms of government. As we said, there are three major arms of government or the organs of government. We start with the first one, which is the executive arm of government, which is headed by the president. What do they do? The executive arm of government formulates and implements what? Policies. So that's what we say. The executive arm of government is in charge of day-to-day administration of the country. They formulate, they plan what to do. What is our program for the country? They plan it and they what? Implement it. We want to put up a school. They are planning. How do you put up the school? Okay, which area, which parts of Ghana need a school? Which area in Ghana need a road? Okay, so what they do that they formulate, they plan something, put ideas together, and then they implement the ideas and put together into what is called policies. They also prepare the national annual budget. Okay, they also prepare what is called the national annual budget. The budget is the amount of money we are going to spend within one calendar year. The amount of money the government is going to spend within one calendar year. From January to December, the amount of money the government of the day is going to spend, okay, must be prepared and sent to Parliament for what? Approval. So the third one is that assenting to what? Bills into laws. Parliament will debate on bills. When they are done with everything, the bill is sent to the executive, which is headed by the president, and the president signs the bill, and the bill becomes a law. Now, the executive, which is also headed by the president, exercises prerogative of mercy. It says, exercises what? Prerogative of mercy. That's power of pardon. The president, according to the constitution, has the right to free some people from prison. The president can say that, okay, today I am just going to free 100 people from prison. He has not committed any crime. He has not abused any law. Because it is defined in the constitution that the executive, which is headed by the president, has what they call prerogative of mercy. Power of what? Pardon. I can say that, the president can say that today, all those who have been in prison for 60 years, I'm letting you, 50 of you, to go free. The president has not committed any crime. Because it's defined in the constitution. Okay? So the president can determine who should stay in prison at what time and who should come out. That's the prerogative of the president. Now, the executive also appoints the executive also appoints judges and ministers. They appoint judges and ministers. And then these ministers are vetted by Parliament and or approved by Parliament. Let's move on here. We move on to the second arm of government, which is the legislature or Parliament. We said the last time we said the Parliament is headed by the Speaker of Parliament with two deputies, one from minority and one from one majority, with 275 elected parliamentarians. So what is their main duty? What is their function? One, makes or enact and amend laws for the state. Another word for make is what? Enact. Enact means to make. Amend laws, to change. They can make laws and also make changes to the law. That is the work of the legislature. You say they make and amend laws for the state. They make and amend laws for the states. They make and amend laws for the state. That's the duty of the legislature. Another one is they approve the national annual budget. The budget that was prepared by the executive arm of government will be finally approved by Parliament. So the Parliament is going to give the executive arm of government the go ahead to spend the annual budget. If they don't do that, the executive arm of government cannot spend what is called the annual budget. Now, the legislature also vets nominated judges and ministers. The president appoints ministers once Parliament also what? Vet them and also approves them. Now, another function of the legislature is that they debate on national issues. Issue of drug trafficking, issue of power crisis, or any issue that has to be with the nation, they discuss it there. Let's move on to the next one. That's the judiciary. The judiciary, the function or the duties of the judiciary. The judiciary interprets the laws and the constitution of the land. The 1992 constitution. The only arm of government that has the right to interpret the constitution is the judiciary. Okay, and the highest court in the land is the Supreme Court. The second one is that the judiciary also settles disputes fairly and free from what? Coercion. The coercion here means not by force, not anybody what? Influencing or forcing them. So we say that the judiciary settles disputes fairly and free from what? Coercion. Meaning what? Nobody influences or what? Forces them to do that. They do that based on fair and free. Okay, the next one is that the judiciary also sanctions or punishes lawbreakers. That's the only time you break the law, you are sent to court and the law deals with you there. So that is the duty of the judiciary. They sanctions or punishes lawbreakers. And the last one for the day is that the judiciary also protects human rights and freedom. Your rights and freedom are protected by the judiciary. That is why if anybody abuses you, your right, you go to court and seek what? Redress. Okay? I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Waiting to meet you in our next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.